I want to ask you about the Support the Troops tour you went on with Robin Williams. Did you get to spend a fair amount of time with him on that trip?
Yeah, I did. I was really it was the Christmas tour, and that was really where I got to spend time with Robin. And
Is there a particular memory that stands out to you about Robin, about that trip?
the amount of energy that he brought to it, and the amount of care that he gave, the amount of love he had for those folks. I mean, his energy was astonishing, and we would come to a place that I'm like I'm dying. This is like this is like it was like 8 shows, 7 days, 6 countries, and we'd be in a, I love to say chopper. We'd be in a chopper, and he would jump out of the chopper and race up to the troops and just start bam, 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 bam. If you want to see what he was like, just in terms of being there, you go to the Good Morning Vietnam and watch the last scene of him leaving the troops, and that's exactly what he was like. And he had a great big heart and a brilliant mind and a photographic memory, which I think got him into trouble from time to time.
When I met Robin a few years back, I asked him a question I'd like to ask you as well.
Sure.
From a comedic standpoint, what would you say is the funniest thing you've ever said or done, or seen anyone else in the business say or do?
I can't tell you one of them because I could remember the joke. I can't remember jokes. One of the great ones to me was, that it was Kathleen Madigan, when we were in Afghanistan. I think it was. I think she did it there first. Was that, you've done this for these people and this. You brought them roads. You brought them houses. You brought teaching. You've done this and the water and yada yada. And so when you the troops get back, it'd be a good idea. Why don't you invade Detroit? I mean, that's the first one that comes to mind is hers. But there were, somebody just asked me that question, and it was the one that I said the bit was the seven words you can't do on television by George Carlin, and I think it's the 5 stages of drunkenness by Larry Miller, which you can get online, which is just the finest crafted Tonight Show bit or late night show bit I've ever watched in my life. It's spectacular.
Just for kicks, I'd like to throw out a name, and you tell me the first order memory that comes to mind.
Sure.
Okay. Carlin.
Brilliant.
Seinfeld.
Different.
Pryor.
Unique, extraordinary.
Billy Crystal.
Wow. Entertainer.
Carson.
Old school entertainer. Carson just got it.
Lily Tomlin.
Adore.
So you had a great and hilarious role in Pixar's Inside Out as Anger. And I wonder why they thought Anger would be a good role for you. How did that role come about? What made you take it?
What made me take it was that they're the greatest animation group in the country, and that it's Anger. So what are you going to turn that down? Also, their humility when they asked me, they sent me a whole box of stuff, and they said, you may not be familiar with us. And I was like, wow, you don't even see people like this in Los Angeles. It's like, you are so lucky you're here with me. They were really about, we really would like to work with you. I don't know if you really what the kind of work, and they sent me a ton of their stuff that I'd already seen. It was, and I was like, and even they sent a part of the script, which was not ready to be seen. And I read it and I thought, wow, I'm going to be in their first bomb. That'll be unique. And so they had just started to really get to work on it, and that they were going to spend 5 years doing it, which explained everything about them as a group. And they weren't in Los Angeles. Good for you. And that then when I went and talked to them, they said, when they were pitching this to Disney, which was part of the deal, was that they said, imagine, the first one they said was, imagine Louis Black as Anger. and that was the final key. And then of course the way they get you is say, well, you're going to be immortal. Whoa, well, who passes that up?
Where did the whole finger thing come from? I mean, you've got the most active fingers in the industry, with perhaps the exception of Paul Rubens.
Yes, I'd have no idea. And I seriously, the first time I ever was conscious of it was coming upstairs from the comedy stop at the Trop in Atlantic City, and people were doing that at me, and I turned to my friend and said, what's that? And they said, well, that's what you do on stage. I don't do that. I wasn't conscious of it. I just did it. It was just the way I kind of expressed things, and then it took me a while to get over the fact I was doing it. Now it's back to like, I don't know, I'm doing it.
What have you got coming up? What's coming up in the future? Is it more daily show? Are you going to be getting it back out and about again now that things are starting to loosen up?
I have folks can go to lewisblack.com. I hate saying that, but they can, and get a real sense of what I'm up to. I have a thing called a rantcast. I've done 93 of them, which are these. I read rants that were written by the audience. I'm reading them now. If I'm coming to your area, just know that I make a concerted effort to read the rants written by you, the folks in the area, so it becomes the show about, if I'm in, like when I was in Biloxi, it was the Biloxi show. It was either Biloxi or the Mississippi show, or anybody who lived near there, or, that's the kind of way I go at it. And that's really been really important to me, is being able to express the anger of other individuals. And it's really, and it's what I know, and it's what kept me sane during the pandemic, because that I didn't need an audience for. I know how to read a rant, and they got better and better in writing them. And so that's one of the things on the board. And the tour starts again September 15th up north, and I'll be heading into where Waterville, Maine is one of the stops. Rutland, Vermont. The first stop is Northampton, Massachusetts, and I can't wait to get back on the road. And then there's something else coming up that I can't talk about, but folks are I can guarantee you this: when they hear about it, they'll be very excited.
That is very, very cool. And everyone, I'm sure, will look forward to hearing whatever that is.
Yeah,
Lewis, thank you so much for joining us. You've been fantastic as always. Ladies and gentlemen, Lewis Black.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much.